For me, it is very important free improvisation, because free improvisation is a completely different access to musical expression compared with if you have a note sheet in front of you. Because the most important thing for me for free improvisation is that you have the possibility to transmit an authenticity of your musical ideas that very often, if you have a note sheet, it is impossible to give such a kind and diverse information how you want to create a sound. Because it is playing an instrument. I play cello, and I have the idea, if I play improvised music with my cello, the cello for me it's a global sound resource. And this gives me also the possibilities to extend what is improvisation in kind of connection and interaction with other mediums. Well, in my family it was usual that all the kids were playing an instrument, and we were starting quite young. I still can remember I was not even going to primary school. We were living near Stuttgart, so I started with, I don't know now, a recorder, and even in that time I had to go by foot, and it was quite long. So some kind of music and independence. This started for me very early. Then we moved, and then I started to play piano. And then at the age of 12, 13, I started to play violoncello. And it was really very normal that also in these younger ages we were motivated to play with other people together, a trio, quartet, or a small orchestra of that school. And in that time, it was in the 60s, end of 60s, they had a concert series, Hauskonzerte, and they also invited, in that time, Wolfgang Dauner, when he was starting with electronics. It was the MOOCs, and it was, compared with today, really rudimental. But this also, in younger ages, opened the view that there are also other things. Once I had the opportunity to participate in a very fantastic workshop with Carlos Singer, but it's also almost 20 years ago. And there, at least here in Portugal, I got in touch with some people in that field of improvisation. This depends always a little bit also of the situation. For instance, if you are in a position to have an idea, maybe in that space or that venue could be something interesting. It depends. I'm not so much thinking just only in one direction. As I myself work in different areas, I'm not just only doing in one way. I play with electronic musicians, I play with formations that are a little bit more maybe directed into free jazz. I play with formations that are a little bit more directed into contemporary music, or if I, for instance, as you were asking, sometimes to be invited, I'm also invited, for instance, of artists from other fields, for instance, theater or dance, and I think what the people know about my music that I do is I'm not just only going into one direction. It is a very difficult question, because to have conditions that musicians that work in improvisation can play and can be also rewarded in some way. The venues that are open for this kind of music, very often they don't have any budget. what is very difficult to see is possibilities for continuous form, to give conditions to innovative music. It is a little bit like this. If you would be working in medicine, and improvisation for me, it has also very much the character of laboratory exploration, finding new ways. If you would cut it down in medicine, we don't do investigation anymore, we don't do any research. This is impossible to do.